Well, as the rest of the world descends into chaos from the coronavirus, things here on the farm are just about like they always were. No profit and lots of work. We've been quite busy on our farm getting things ready for spring. The weather's been sporadic, however it is starting to dry out, so we'll be starting to hit the field soon. And the day I shot this video on that 4020 is about 65-mile-an-hour winds. Quite warm, but then a cold front came through, which caused a tornado outbreak, which was fairly close, probably 30 miles away. And what you're seeing here in this video clip is Sullivan Auctions. I think it's Carthage, Illinois, as we drove through there, but it's all online auction due to the corona outbreak. And I just shot a very short clip of what was going on. Should have filmed more of it. Quite the pile of equipment. Just really amazed me how much stuff was there at that place. It must have been 25 acres of just equipment. Pretty neat. Since it's quarantine lockdown time, I guess Callie has to bring crab back to the hotel room and shuck it out. And it looks like every time she shucks it out, it explodes and sprays. And there's the bed. And on the other hand, I had McDonald's. Hey honey, want to give this room a reason to be quarantined? And no, Callie did not find that joke funny whatsoever. As to the coronavirus, I think it's leaving a very negative economic impact, especially on small businesses, which the government's magical solution seems to be lending you money, which is borrowing money again, which will only cause you to have to pay back additional loans. They have essentially eliminated personal responsibility. Instead of warning people as to the ramifications and the extreme dangers of the disease or potentials of the disease or illness or flu or whatever you want to call it, what they've done is they've put safety into their equation and taken away your rights, your ability to go and shop certain places, and for those businesses to make money. And we're feeling it even right here on the farm. However, as I mentioned earlier, work here on the farm continues, and one of the things we've been doing is working on this toolbar. If you follow my videos on a regular basis, this will be easier to understand because I've talked about it before. This is a 2510C toolbar, and it is currently attached to a John Deere 1910 commodity cart. This is what they call a pull-behind cart. This particular cart is 270 bushels capacity, which you can see in the sticker right there, 120 in the front and 150 in the rear. This cart will hold around 4 tons of fertilizer in the front hopper and 5 tons of fertilizer in the rear hopper. It does have the conveyor on the side, which will load the tanks. The cart is also equipped with 18/4 42 duals, which are set to track rows, and it has front tires with an optional tread spacing of 60-inch centers and I believe 90-inch outside centers, which again track the rows of the toolbar. A 2510C came out of the factory on 13 on 30-inch spacings, 13 rows. To get that cart, we had to buy a 16-row toolbar. We converted this to 12s on 30s, so you get 12 knives on 30-inch spacings, which will be the same as the planters that we have. And we took the dry equipment and hitch, which this is what's called a pull behind hitch. So you can see it mounts on the toolbar. This is from John Deere, and it goes out to the rear there, where it attaches to the commodity cart. This tank here is for in-serve, and this is a dual cold flow system made by Raven Manufacturing. That system was on this particular toolbar. And what we did with it was change it over to the John Deere brackets, which were on that hitch. Totally replumbed everything. And we even had to build our own knives. So what we did is bought Hi-Pro knives, because that's the only knives we could get at this current time. So we have Hi-Pro knives, which come with an 1.5-inch tube. And we have to convert it over to the John Deere 1 3/4 tube, which have the holes in it, which are for air releases. So we had to drill all those holes. So there's all those on all 4 sides, all the way around, on every single knife. We welded those stub tubes on. which adapt to the John Deere hoses. John Deere exclusively use their own 1 3/4 hose, and we had to replace quite a few of the hoses on here. One roll hose is 100 feet long. That roll hose is about $750. I did replumb all the anhydrous. Everything's new, new clamps, new vapor lines, all new anhydrous hoses, which go into your Continental distributors there. There's some pressure gauges up here, which will look towards the tractor, and then there's the cold flow system, which divides into two, comes out here, so you'll have six knives left side, 6 knives on the right side to break it up so you're not using quite as much anhydrous. What you're looking at here is the meter housing on this 1910 cart, which is all brand new. This is from John Deere. The dealership we purchased this off of actually had replaced that entire meter housing as well as all the piping on both sides. But you can see what fertilizer does do to your equipment, including powder coating, which it flakes the paint off of. So it's nice to have that been replaced. For future though, for our farm, because this is in fertilizer, there is a stainless steel meter housing made in Canada, which will be going on this cart eventually, as well as a stainless steel housing for that elevator. And that elevator is getting pretty poor condition, so eventually we'll replace that with stainless steel as well. So after days and hours and weeks actually of work, of changing every single thing over and going through every single part by hand, making sure it's done right, the toolbar is officially attached to the cart, the plumbing's done right and laid out correctly, and everything's where it's supposed to be. So the next step is to actually put this in the field. And for you, those of you who are curious, the anhydrous tanks actually trail behind that commodity cart. In the back of the shed here, what we're looking at is the planters, and there's a 1795, there's a 1790. We got the colders dropped off on the floors. We're getting ready to put residue managers on that. The other thing is this new mulch finisher, which I talked about in the last video, that we're putting new sweeps on. Quite impressed with this new mulch finisher, just a much upgraded frame design over the 726s, and it seems like it does a little smoother job than the 726. Just a quite well thought out machine with plenty of clearance. So you'll be seeing more videos on this stuff in the future, including this mulch finisher. And if the weather holds, we'll be out running this equipment here very soon. As to why we wanted a system like this, we want to be able to get the fertilizer in the ground on row, which should help boost some yields, as well as doing it in one pass, getting the placement right, getting the quantities right. It's a very precise way of applying fertilizer and anhydrous at the same time. We used to have a dual placement rig. If you go back into my older videos, it was a tank in front, which we did not like. So you'll be seeing more of this in the future. Just wanted to show you guys what was going on. And since I like to add suspense to my channel, you can wonder where I was and what I was doing. And why was there a hotel room? You just never know. I'm going to keep growing our farm operation. Hopefully throughout the years we continue to take on more acres and expand operations, as well as keeping this very clean, nice, neat lineup of John Deere equipment. And you guys can sit back and enjoy that. Appreciate all the positive comments, and we'll see you in the next video.